Hi everyone, it's Niamh here and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to be participating in a YouTube Advent Hop, and it's presented by the Live Art Journaling and Self-Development group on Facebook. So to find out more about this group, head to my description box below to find the link to the Facebook group, and each day on the Facebook group there will be a new link to a new video of mixed media wonderment that you can do over Christmas or over the Advent period. So I'm starting off making this page. Now this is in my Dina Wakley journal, and I had this blue page that's been sitting in my journal. It's blue acrylic paint in the background, kind of watered down. So I was just playing and I broke out my big star stencil and some gold paint. Now I didn't really have an idea of where this was going when I started it. I did know that I wanted to do it as a sort of Christmas theme for this hop, but apart from that there wasn't any big idea behind it. It was just, I've got a blue background and I've got some stars. What can I do with it? So you can see the acrylic paints going on quite opaque, which is fantastic. So you get this beautiful shine across your surface. Now, if you didn't have metallic paint, you could sort of use metallic texture paste as well. That would look really, really good. As I usually do with a lot of my stencils, I've decided to outline it with white pen. Now, this is a bullet tip fine white Posca paint pen, and I'm being really, really scratchy and not very careful with my lines. I really like having these sort of scratchy lines around them, and it just helps pop it out from the background a little bit. So, if you haven't tried outlining your stencils, I'd really suggest you try it on one or two of them, because you'll be really surprised with how it looks. Once I'd done this, I wasn't sure what I wanted to do next. So I thought that I would cut out some baubles, make some baubles to hang. And I thought the stars would be in the background and I'd hang these baubles. So this is some painted papers that I did, which if you saw my session on the 5th day for the Advent Hop, you would have seen I used similar papers to this to create the body of my person that I did. So these are what I call collage matrix papers. They're just bits of paper. This is an old encyclopedia where I've just used lots of watercolor paint in the background and just done lots of mark making over the top. And what I tend to do, this is actually original, but I also take photos of them so I can print them out, and I usually print them on sticker paper, which means I can, stamp images over the top of them like this and just use them as pattern paper in my artwork. Now, obviously, if you have got scrapbooking paper, you could do exactly the same, or you could paint your own papers. You can see here I like very bright colors and all mixed and mangled together. You could certainly do a more selective color palette. So the stamps I'm using are from Tracy Scott, who's an English designer for Paper Artsy. They're just a really simple sort of circle set, but it wasn't really working the way I wanted it to. It was very busy with those huge stars in the background. It was just too busy. So I decided that the reason I didn't really like it was because I didn't have anything to hang them off. So I decided I needed to put a branch in. This is one of the newer stencils from Dina Wakley. It's not actually a pine branch or anything like that, but it was just sort of branchy enough that I thought, oh, I'll have a go at using this. So again, I'm outlining my stencil, and you can see that just pops it out from the background. So I decided that one branch wasn't enough. I like to work in threes when I do things, so I'm going to overlap the stencil again. Now I'm using the same sponge I used before, and the reason I did that is it's a really great way to mix your colors and to get a shade effect happening on your stenciled images really, really easily. So you can sort of see I've got the darker on the outside and then the paler color on the inside with very little effort. It's just me using the sponge that already had paint from the other color, and I've just sort of mixed the two together. Again, I'm doing the same and just outlining it with really, really scratchy lines to, make it look interesting. So I'm mixing in a little bit of a deep blue color with my green. I had a bit of a green explosion here, sort of went everywhere. But I'm just sort of mixing up a darker colour again. So I've got the 3 layered colours of the green on my page, which I really liked how it worked out. So the paint I'm using is Paper Artsy paint, which is a really matte chalk finish paint. It dries really quickly and is really easy to draw over the top of. Now this is what I call my Use It Up journal, and if you don't have one, I highly suggest you get one. It's a great way of painting in any extra paint that you've got on your palette, and it's a quick easy background for another page. So that's how I started off on this page. I had a page that I'd already put some blue paint on because I had some left over. It means I didn't have to worry about a background colour because I already had one on my page ready to go. So once I've done my 3 branches, I was really liking how it looked. And I decided, instead of having the baubles hanging, why don't I just have the stars hanging as a decoration? Now, if I'd thought that was what I was going to do to begin with, I possibly wouldn't have put as many stars on my page. I was still trying to use those circles up. I'm sure I'll use them somewhere in my collage collection in the near future, but until then, they're sort of where they are. So all I did was draw some really straight white lines, and you can see they're not very straight, and just a little bit of a tie on the top of each of my star. And then I decided that I would just write in Star of Wonder. Again, if you'd follow my journal page from last time, I tend to use quotes or song lyrics on my pages, particularly on pages like this where I want a bit of a focus. So I've used the carol We Three Kings to get the word Star of Wonder. So I'm just going in, I've written my quote in paint pen, and then I'm going in and just widening some of the downstrokes just to make it look a little bit more interesting. I'm using a mix of my finer pen and my larger pen to get nice crisp lines and sharp edges. So you can see, you know, where I need to get in and get nice sharp. I'm using my finer pen to highlight it. The final thing, once I've finished that, I'm just going to heat set it, is to go in with a black pen and do a little bit of a shadow around my letters. So it's not very obvious on screen, but when you actually look at it in real life, it sort of gives you that, it just pops the letters out from the background a little bit, and it's a really subtle thing to do, but it makes a huge difference to your work when you're finished. So here's a close-up of the finished page. As I said, it's a really quick page. It's something you could easily adapt to a card front or to a scrapbooking page to use as a bit of a focus. You put a picture up the top or something like that. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please go and check out the live art journaling and self-development group on Facebook. As I said below, in the description box you will find the link to that group, and every day of December you will find a new video link being uploaded that you can come and follow and join us with our Christmas fun. Until next time, bye for now.